Jeremiah 29:11 through 13. We say verse 11 a lot. I want to tell you the next two verses, okay? Jeremiah 29:11 through 13, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." You see, we miss that verse. We love I know the plans I have for you, plans for hope and a future and to prosper you. But there's more to the verse. It says, "Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you." My best friend from college lives in Waveland, Mississippi. That's right where the eye of Hurricane Katrina hit. She lives 2 blocks from the beach. Or rather, she lived 2 blocks from the beach. And when Katrina hit, I was in a panic. And for 3 days, I couldn't get her on the phone. And I called Lisa over and over again, and I finally got through to her. And they had to go up into Jackson, Mississippi. She lost everything. And there were pictures of her in the paper. Her house, you could see it 2 blocks away. And she left so quickly trying to save her son and her grandparents. And she'd had hurricanes before where nothing happened. So she didn't take anything this time. She lost everything. And when I found her, I said, you know, what do you need? Let me send you some money. Let me do whatever I can do. And in the weeks that followed, we would go to the post office and get these boxes. And you could send, it didn't matter how much it weighed, you could send this box for $7. And we would go to Walgreens and buy all this stuff and put them in the boxes and mail them. Fingernail clippers, you know, a laundry bag, tweezers, things that mean nothing to us. And she was so grateful for the things that we sent to her. And God used that to teach me this lesson. I think we like to read Jeremiah 29:11 through 13, and we like verse 11 because we want to be prosperous here in America. And we think prosperity means I'm not going to have to suffer. It means I might even get a Mercedes-Benz or move into a bigger neighborhood or whatever we think prosperity happens to be. But as I watched Dom and I watched Lisa and different friends of mine that I had there on the coast, and I watched the gratitude in their lives when they would open a box and call you weeping that thank you, I didn't even realize I needed that, but yeah, I needed that, thank you. What if prosperity can only come to us in brokenness? What if the prosperity God is speaking about here is not some outward prosperity? What if it's an inward prosperity in our relationship with Him? He says, I know the plans I have for you. And I'm going to put in my own version here. These plans may look horrible to you right now. They may be the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and you can't imagine how you're going to get out of it, but you have to trust me. I know the plans I have for you, and I have plans not to harm you. I'm going to bring you a hope. And our hope is in Christ, isn't it? It's Christ in you who is the hope of glory. I have plans to give you a hope and a future. But he goes on and he says, then you will call upon me. Well, when is it that we call out to God the most? When we are suffering, right? So he says, I'm going to prosper you and not harm you. I'm going to give you, a hope and a future. And then you'll call on me and come and pray to me. And when you do that, he promises you, I will listen to you. Then he keeps going, though. He says, you will seek me and find me when? When you seek me with all your heart. Well, ladies, about the only time I seek God with my whole heart is when I can't get off the floor because I am so crushed and so broken. I believe that prosperity he's talking about here, where he says, I know what the plans are. You don't get the picture. I see the end. And what you're in right now may seem like the biggest hurricane in the whole world. But I know what's coming at the end if you'll hang on with me. And he says, I have a plan here to grow you up into maturity, to take away your pride, to teach you to say, I need you, God. You're everything. I don't have anything to offer here unless you give it to me. I'm nothing without you, but with you, I'm everything because of what you've done for me. He wants to bring us to that place of brokenness, and he says, because then is when you're going to call upon me, and I'm going to listen, and you're going to start seeking me, and you're going to seek me, and you're going to find me, because you're going to seek me with all your heart. And the thing I watched happen to those people in Katrina is that when they started seeing that, they became the most grateful people. I can't imagine being grateful that somebody sent me a box with tweezers in it. You know, wouldn't that, you'd get a box this afternoon and go, what in the world was she thinking about? It's those who have nothing that are thankful for anything. And we need to get to a place where we get off of our pride attitude of thinking we can do anything without God and realize that we have nothing without Him. And that's when we can begin to become grateful